Okay, it looks like we are live on LinkedIn. Hey, LinkedIn. This is, let's see here, I think my second time live streaming to LinkedIn, maybe my third, but certainly not as often as I do on Facebook. But I am super excited for this one. Yay. So I'm Becky, and yeah, I do these hot seat interviews because I love them. They're just so darn much fun. I love getting to know other people and highlighting their businesses, and just, yeah, it's super fun. Anyway, so the way this works is I'm going to let my esteemed guest introduce herself, and she's going to tell you a little bit about what she does, who she does it for, and I'm going to start taking notes. And these questions are unscripted. I don't have any idea what I'm going to ask today. So it's just
and I have no idea what I'll answer.
Exactly. It's just, there's just going to be some flow. And so I'm going to zip my mouth and let her take it away.
Okay, so my name is GillianWhitney. I am a LinkedIn video marketing coach, and I help people on LinkedIn to feel comfortable on camera, get on this platform, and start using video, because I truly believe video is the best way to build trust and allow people to get to know, like, and trust you. And video's it. They'll remember you. So video, I think it's magical. I love it.
What do you think the future of video is on LinkedIn? Because I don't think of it as this, you know, like you think of video and I'm like, okay, YouTube, Reels, Facebook or Instagram stories or whatever they all are. What about LinkedIn? How does video fit in?
I think LinkedIn is going to get even bigger and bigger with video. So right now, you think about it, you have LinkedIn Lives, you have a LinkedIn profile video. So as soon as people go to your profile, they can learn about you by clicking on your video if you have it uploaded. And so you can have a video there. You can have videos in your featured section, and they can be videos from the news feed or videos from somewhere else like Vimeo or YouTube or all sorts of different things. Then we have things like this, LinkedIn Lives, where it's an instant replay. So if somebody's watching us live, that's great. If they're not watching us live, that's okay, because it's going to be here till the end of time. Mm-hmm. And if you have a company page, then you have a whole video tab, which is kind of like having a YouTube channel on LinkedIn on your company page. So that's important. And you can embed videos inside newsletters and articles. So there's another place that you can put videos. So if you think about it, you can do it everywhere. But where I like to really use videos, which I think a lot of people don't realize you can do this, is picking up my phone and sending somebody a video message, because I can do that on LinkedIn. And so, for instance, if you meet up with somebody for the first time, you connect with them, you want to get to know them. What's the best way to get to know somebody? Send them a little video and you just say, hi, I'm Jillian. I live in Las Vegas. I am a video marketing coach. I'm excited to get to know you. And if you have any questions about video, you know, let's chat. Or if it's somebody's birthday, hi, Becky, I saw it was your birthday today. I'm wishing you a happy birthday. How would that make you feel? It'd make you feel pretty special. So video messages, they're pretty amazing. So another form of LinkedIn video that you can use. So right now, I think video is like everywhere on LinkedIn. One place I'd love to see video would be in the comments. That would be kind of cool if you could do a comment, a video post, so that if you saw something, you could make a short little video, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. I think that'd be kind of cool. So LinkedIn doesn't have stories. We got stories, but then it went away. We're supposed to get something else. And the talk is that LinkedIn audio events, the next step is supposed to be LinkedIn audio video social events, where you could have an audio event and all the people on the stage would be in video, and it would be like a small picture. I'm not exactly sure how it's all supposed to work out. And then you would all be listening in the audience, just listening in. But if you wanted to come on stage, you could go just audio, but audio and visual as well. So I kind of think that would be way cool. I think they're still kind of working out how that'll all work. I just think video is just going to get bigger and bigger.
Why is video so powerful? Like for me, I enjoy doing video because it's fun. But I I don't learn well on video. And so I scroll by almost every piece of video that I see. I prefer to read stuff myself. It's just easier for me. I think I'm a minority, right? I mean, most people love video, right? Or
it comes and goes. Like, one thing I'll tell you as a video coach, I don't recommend that you do video every single day. And when I see people doing, 100-day video challenge, I'm like, oh, are you kidding? Like, are you kidding? Because it's like, if all we ever see is one thing, like, even if you think about ice cream, if you had chocolate ice cream every single day, you'd kind of get bored of chocolate ice cream, right?
right.
Well, it's the same with video. So video is good, but it's better if it's done in bits. So for instance, I do a LinkedIn Live every week. Same date, same time. I've been doing it for 2 years. I don't miss a show. So that's one form of video, live video. I also do a recorded video, keep it short, and I do that once a week, usually on a Thursday, and then I repurpose over to YouTube. So the other post that I do is appealing to people's different learning styles. So I might do a text post. Text posts do really, really well on LinkedIn. Name me another social media platform where people are reading text posts. It's not happening on Instagram. Nobody's sitting there reading a long text post, but they do on LinkedIn. So text posts do well. Graphic posts, selfies do well. If you kind of, in my opinion, if you kind of give it a business takeaway, nobody cares so much about what you're eating for lunch. But if you're eating lunch and you're listening to a podcast and you talk about the podcast, that, to me, that's kind of a good selfie that, has a point to it.
Yeah.
So you think of that. Sliders do well, which are those documents, PDF posts. People love those because you just scroll, and you can put some text and you can put some graphics. Those do well. Polls still do well. Don't want to do a poll every day, every week, but occasionally they do well. So I think you have to appeal to other people's learning styles. But with video, I understand your point. Sometimes you watch a video and you're like, okay, I get what you're doing, but now I'm kind of confused what I need to do next. So first of all, it's good to use captions, because captions appeal to, I can be reading it on a screen. If it's a how-to, I might want to have some tips that show up on the screen that say, okay, so now you want to, click here, and then highlight where you're supposed to click and stuff like that, because people don't always know what to do. So you got to point stuff out. But I think it's really important to have captions and keep your videos short so you don't lose people. So I used to recommend 2 minutes for videos. Now I say even go shorter. And, 1.5 minutes is good. You basically want one idea per video. Because if you start telling me the 15 reasons why LinkedIn's better than Instagram, I'm lost on point 3. So, we do have short attention spans. So one idea for one video. And I think you'll find that's a lot better.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So profile video. Are people, what is that? I've heard about that one other time from somebody else. Haven't looked into it yet. What's happening with that?
Okay, so first of all, I have a whole article that takes you through everything you need to know. So I recommend you and anybody else watching this, go to my profile, look on my featured section, and I think it's like the 3rd item, and I have everything you need to know about how you do it. You can only do it on a phone. So you have, this is one of the few times on LinkedIn that you are forced to do a vertical video. You have to do it on your phone because it has to be uploaded from the LinkedIn app to your profile. You can't do it on desktop. And a lot of people are like, oh, I never go on the app. For this, you have to go on the app. And it's got to be short. I think I forget stuff, like numbers and stuff like that. I just, hard thing to retain in my head, but I think it's 30 seconds. But you can actually just use the LinkedIn video app and actually record it in LinkedIn and upload it. But I don't recommend that. I recommend you use another tool outside of LinkedIn because I really strongly believe in captions. And you're essentially, if you don't add captions to your video, it's a silent movie. People don't know what you're talking about. And also too, you're not being inclusive to the deaf community, hard of hearing, people whose language is English is not their native language. So you're kind of, you're hitting them as well. But more importantly too, you don't know where people are watching your videos. So if I'm sitting in the doctor's office and I see your video, I want to be able to watch with the sound off. And by default on LinkedIn, the sound is always off in the news feed. So if you want people to watch your videos, you got to have those captions. So I really strongly believe in that. There's so many free tools you can use to do captioning, especially on mobile. My number one choice is CapCut. It's a fabulous program where you can do editing and captions all in one. And so what happens with your profile video is somebody goes, you upload it to LinkedIn. And then when somebody comes to your profile, as soon as they land on your profile, it's kind of like a Harry Potter effect, like in the Harry Potter movies, in that you'll see for a second something's happening behind your profile picture. And what it is it's an actual preview that your video is there. And it causes people to click, and then it opens up full screen, but it's narrow and it's black on both sides. And then it's like, hi, I'm Jillian. Welcome to my LinkedIn profile, or whatever I choose to record. And then at the end, you can say, follow me, or whatever your call to action is. And people can actually type in a message. They can give it a thumbs up, an emoji, and different things. So it's a really good way of not only kind of welcoming, it's like putting out a welcome mat on your profile, but more importantly, it distinguishes that you're a human being and not a robot. Because there's a lot of fake profiles now. Like you go to somebody's LinkedIn profile and you're like, okay, it says he like lives in the world. It's like, where in the world do you live? And it says that he's like a fireman at a refinery in the ocean, and yet he looks like Tom Cruise. And you're like, I kind of have a feeling this guy's fake. Yeah. And what's weird is when you see profiles like that and they have like 10,000 followers, and you're just like, people, why are you accepting an invitation from somebody like this? Because I always go, red alert, somebody is now going to try and hack and get all of maybe some information about me, but people in my network, and I want to protect my network. So I don't connect with scammy, weird bots. They're just bots. Stay away.
Interesting. Okay. Why? Okay. So as I understand it, the number of users on LinkedIn way surpasses the number of users who are making content.
Oh yes.
Now, how about video? Of those content creators, how many of them are leveraging video?
That's a really good question. I know that they say the stats go anywhere from 3 to 5% are the content creators. They used to say 1%, but I think with the pandemic, we got people doing more content on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn has like these creator accelerator programs. So you're getting more and more people that are encouraged to create content. So I'd say we're probably about, 5% right now out of the 850 million billion people that are on LinkedIn. Now, how many people are doing video? I would say that's an even smaller percentage, because most people are really hung up doing video. They find it scary. They find it intimidating. Sometimes it's just the fear of being on camera. Another time it's the tech. They kind of, if they had a studio, they'd be okay. But if it's just, Joe and Jane by themselves, it's just like, I don't know how to make a video, and I don't know how to edit it, and I don't know how to upload it, and what are captions, and how does all that work? And when people get into overwhelm, they just go, they're going to shut down. They're not going to do it. And then, of course, the third thing is people just don't even know what to say, because it's like you might get out, you'll do a video, and then you'll just say, buy my $10,000 course. And people are like, like scroll on past, because it's just like, we don't really want to buy your stuff. So you have to do videos that, instead of being conversion, like, okay, I want you to buy. It really has to be about building brand awareness. And the best way to do that is leading with value. So figure out what are some of the things that your target market, your ideal customer would like to know, and then make videos about that, or make videos about what you do, who you work with. Make videos that add value so that people go, wow, that was really helpful. So when I started on LinkedIn, I started making videos about how to make videos because I didn't know how to make them. I knew how to make videos for courses because I would do course creation and things like that, but I didn't know how to make social media videos. So I went, this is really hard. So that's why my sort of title is Video Easy Peasy, because I went, it shouldn't be this hard. It should be easier. So I began looking for tools to make it easier, for looking for processes. And I just started doing how-to videos. I stuck them on YouTube, started doing videos on LinkedIn, and I just say, hey, here's what you can do when you've got your, your cell phone and you're out and about and you need to make, good sound. Just wear your earbuds because it's got a microphone, or, different things. Like if you're doing a video, always look to the window and have the light coming in at you instead of having the light behind you, because otherwise now you're all in the dark and you look like you're in the witness protection program. So I did a lot of things like that. And, when I started doing video a couple of years ago, there was hardly any programs to do captioning. Like you had to just go to rev.com and buy them. But now there's like all these programs out there that most of them are for free. So it's like, you can't get better than free and easy. So.
So when you first started, I assume that you probably weren't like as good as you are now, right? With videos.
No, of course not. It's like you gotta learn to crawl. You gotta, baby steps. And I was actually really, really good. I have a very strong video editing background because I used to do course curriculum and I would teach and, did all sorts of different things. And by trade, I was a tech writer. So I'm really good at procedures and how to follow procedures. So I knew how to make videos, but I was not comfortable being in front of the camera. I was a very good narrator. You could hear my voice. I would do things, but getting in front of the camera, I found that very intimidating. So what I decided to do, and this is what I recommend to other people, is do it in baby steps. So I used a program called Loom, Loom, like Zoom. And what you can do is you can do a video where you're just a little bubble. You're just like a little circle bubble up at the top of the screen, or you move it wherever you want. And I would do things and I would show people how to use software. So I would have the screen share. I'd be walking you through, here's how you use Zoom, and I, go in and show them, or here's how you, find stuff on YouTube, or here's how you do a Google search, or whatever I was talking about. And I'd just be this little circle bubble at the top of the at the top of the window, because I could handle being a little teeny person. It took me a while before I was able to get a bit bigger, because that's the fun thing with Loom. Starts off really, really small. And then you can kind of go the next size up when you get more comfortable. And then one day I just went, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I just decided I just get out there and do it. And I think, to be honest with you, I come from a Toastmasters background, so I'm very comfortable with public speaking. And that is a great thing that everybody should take advantage of. Plus, I have been doing LinkedIn Lives for 2 years now. And when you do a live every single week, you know what? You just get over it. You really do. Because you're just like, I've had technical difficulties, things going wrong, just everything that could go wrong. And you just go, just carry on, just carry on. And people are not judging us. That's what people are afraid of. Like, oh, I'll be judged and I have to be perfect. There's no such thing. And practice doesn't make perfect. We're never going to be perfect. You just have to be you and show up and have a good message and talk to one person, not 850 million or billion or whatever's on LinkedIn. just one person, your ideal client. That's it. Makes it easier, makes it conversational.
I love conversational. Clearly.
Yeah, that's why this works. This,
Uh-huh.
it's, and this is really, Becky, this is a great first step is, if I could kind of go back in my time machine, I wish I could have done lives earlier. But back when I started doing LinkedIn lives 2 years ago, you had to apply and you had to wait and get chosen to do LinkedIn lives. And it was like people were applying left, right, and center. And the only reason I got it, and I did not have a big following at the time, the only reason I got it is I said, well, I've done other videos. So that kind of convinced LinkedIn, maybe I knew what I was doing, and they let me do it. But if you think about it, there's no pressure to be perfect live because we can't be perfect. All of a sudden, I got 2 dogs here. They're sleeping, they're being very good, but somebody could ring my bell. And then what's going to happen? All is going to break loose. You have your back to a door. You could all of a sudden have it open up and you got kids, teenagers. Yeah,
I did. And then my last live on my Facebook page, my youngest daughter cracked open the door, and she's like, "What are we doing this afternoon?" Because I had told her she couldn't have a friend over. Her godparents are here and wanted to surprise her, and so I couldn't tell her why she couldn't have a friend over. So she was all surly in the background and stuff, and I'm like, I'm busy. But I feel like the pandemic really helped with that. Merge the personal with the professional.
It did. And I think, we're going to have curveballs, and it's about our flexibility. What can you do when all of a sudden your computer doesn't work, or your phone doesn't work, or your Wi-Fi poops out, or, whatever. It's like, if we can kind of say, well, you know what? I wasn't able to do this. So, I had somebody the other day, I was doing a LinkedIn Live, and he all of a sudden had to go somewhere else, find a whole new location. And he just had to do it. His computer wouldn't work for some reason. So he had to use a phone. And it ended up being incredible. It was scary because it was kind of tight, but he used his phone and he had a beautiful background. It was like, there was like the ocean and the bay behind him, and everything worked out well. But it's like stuff happens, but it's what we do in response to the stuff. Are you flexible? And then what do you think your clients are going to say? Wow, you could throw any curveball at Becky and she knows how to land on her feet. She's like a cat. Is that not a testament to, why people should work with you, is when they see, oh, wow, this happened, but she was able to cope and, move on and move forward. So it's a good thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I told you before we went live, I'm compiling a list of, a blooper thing coming all the way through my videos and stuff. I just had to turn around and look behind me because in this same video that my daughter, walked in on me, I was looking behind me. I'm like, oh, my trampoline is up on its side, and you could totally see it. And so I just sat up a little straighter, and then you couldn't see it anymore. And I'm like, oh, did I remember to put that down? And nope, it's just me hiding it. It's like I told my guests, I'm like, hang on just a minute, I'm going to give myself another blooper reel here, and I just scooted myself backwards and flopped it down, and I was like, okay, next, let's move on. What else am I going to do?
You just got to roll with it. And I have an expression I like, which is called "man plans, God laughs," because it's absolutely true. You go to do something. I did a whole series, which is another really good thing to do with video, is instead of doing one long video, do a video where you chop it up into series, and each week do another part of the series. So I did this series that was called How to Be More Comfortable on Camera. And I set it up. It was just like, okay, I'm going to film the whole thing because I really believe in batch editing your videos. Like, just wear your good outfit, put your makeup on, have a good hair day, whatever, be ready to do your videos, and then go do 10. Like, why do one video? Go do 10. And then you've got content for 10 weeks. So that's what I planned to do. And it was a holiday. And I thought, oh, this is great. So I went out into the back garden, everything that could go wrong went wrong. Our neighbors had a pool party. There was birds, there was mopeds, there was traffic, car alarms going off. And I just was like, what the heck? Like I couldn't believe this was going on. So I came in the house, I still, between this, my dog came flying out the door and I had to go get my dog. All these things happened. So afterwards I got in and I actually got my 10 videos and I just went, oh, but look at this blooper reel. So my husband said, why don't you go ahead and post the blooper reel? Because that's real. That's real life. And I did. And people absolutely loved it. And they were like, especially the birds, when you hear these birds like, and you just go, but that's real. That's real. So blooper reels, they're awesome. And I love when people make a video and then they put the bloopers at the end. That's fun.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to make something like that. I know a friend of mine was doing a training in her Facebook group, and everything that could go wrong did go wrong, just like you were saying. Her power went out, and so she had to, she had to boot up her phone, and so she's using her phone, and she's got this flashlight and stuff so that she can see. Her baby is screaming because he's hungry, so she slings a blanket over her shoulder. She's got her baby in her arms, and she's got this flashlight sitting right next to her, and she's got her phone, and she's continuing the training, and it was awesome. I mean, it repelled a couple of people, but she's like, well, I don't want to work with them anyway.
We're not for everyone.
Yeah, if they're going to be bothered by me nursing my baby underneath a blanket, then I don't want to work with them anyway. So yeah, it was perfect. But yeah, it was just a real life. Okay, this is what happened, and we're gonna get to business anyway.
That's right. That's right.
Very cool.
And I love that. And we really are not for everyone. And I think that whole idea of you do have to, I really strongly believe in understanding who is your ideal customer before you start making videos. And a lot of people, they don't want to do that. They're like, well, everyone is my customer. That's not true. Not everyone is going to work with you. And I always think of it as a bullseye. I aim for the center. This is the ideal person that I want to work with. But if other people resonate, and they want to work with me, I'm not going to turn them around and say, no, I'm sorry, I only work with people who are 40 plus. It's like, I'm not going to do that. We're flexible. But the thing is like, I'm probably not going to resonate for somebody who's 18. And, somebody who wants to make TikTok videos. I don't do TikTok coaching. That's just not my jam. But if you want to know about LinkedIn, I can answer any question you can throw at me. So, you just have to kind of know who really is my ideal customer and then target your videos for that person. And that helps you get over the, I'm trying to talk to 850 million billion people. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. So, and with her, if her ideal client is maybe mothers, they would totally actually relate to what happened to her. And it'd be like, yay, you're our champion.
Yeah. Right? And her Facebook group is the Wealthy Mama Collective. So, anybody that's in there, it's like, I mean, what are you going to expect? She's got kids. Her kids are going to, and her kids are little. They're going to end up in her business.
Yep.
It's just, it's the reality. And so if you don't like it, then she's not your gal.
Perfect.
And, I tend to be people either really like me or really don't like me. And it's been that way since I can, as long as I can remember. I have very few people that go, oh, she's okay. And I'm okay with that, It's like,
well,
okay.
I think if we try to appeal to everybody, what makes us special then? Like I don't lean towards videos that have a lot of special effects because I know that people are busy. The majority of people that I work with are coaches and consultants. They're solopreneurs. They don't have fancy studios, so they need to make their videos either using their computer or using their phone. So I
Mhm.
help people with either or. And these are people that really don't want to have, the running of the bulls and special effects and green screens and pattern
Mhm.
interrupts. And they just want to communicate a message and do it very simple. And so I try to make simple videos so that I'm establishing that baseline. If I was
Mhm.
doing something where I had so many special effects, so 1 minute you see me doing this and then I'm doing that, and now I'm like floating on the Grand Canyon and doing all these things, you'd be like, well, I don't
I
want to
can't do
work with
that.
some. I can't do that. So that
Yeah.
I'd intimidate them. So I'm like you. It's like you're better off to just be who you are so that people go, I like her. She's nice. And be the same person that when you show up on a Zoom call and now people go, okay, I want to learn about your services. You don't want to
Mhm.
show up on the Zoom call and they go, well, you were like this comedian on video and now I meet with you, you're totally different. So it's like, I'm an introvert. So I make introverted videos. I'm kind of quiet. I don't do a lot of yelling and screaming and this and that because that's not the kind of person I am. So, be who you are all the way through so that only the right people that would work with you will resonate for you. So that's
Yeah,
a must.
that's great advice. And I was just thinking, as you were talking about that, the stark contrast in presentation between you and my last guest, who is an out there, just exuberant, f-bombing, you know, just whoa force of nature. And she's definitely going to repel certain people. And
But
I'm
she'll
not the type
also
of,
attract.
and
She'll
yes, and she will
she'll
definitely attract the right people, as well.
exactly.
But the contrast there is something to, like, wow, her business is completely unrelated to yours, and so it's not, but even if it wasn't, you would each need, you'd each attract your own tribe, right? That's
Exactly.
the whole.
Exactly. And that, in my opinion, is why we shouldn't worry so much about the competition.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of people who would say, well, as a video marketer, why would you ever talk with anybody else who's a video marketer? Because they're your competition. Isn't it sort of dog eat dog? I want to like push you aside so people buy my stuff. But I don't believe that because I feel that at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that offer what I offer.
Mhm.
And the thing is that you're going to resonate and want to work with the people that have the personality you do. It's the same as like if we were going for a job. If they had a job for, somebody who was like going to be a chef, well, all these people, they probably could cook. They're probably really good cooks, but they might want a chef that's like knows how to kibitz and talk and this and that. Or they might want a chef that looks very coiffed and, sophisticated and that sort of thing. Or they might want to sort of like, "Ugh, I'm a rad chef. I get out there
Yeah.
and I juggle my knives and things like that." So at the end of the day, all of them can cook, but it's the personality. What personality is going to be a right fit for our restaurant? That's why we're going to hire this particular chef over that chef. And it's the same thing with like if you're a video coach or you're a copywriter or you're a social media manager,
Mhm.
everybody is going to probably be qualified. And I'll turn people in and say, you know what? I'm not a good fit for you because I'm sort of like do it yourself. So I'll teach you how to make video, but I don't really want to make my video. I don't want to make your videos. I want to teach you to make your videos. So if I have somebody that says, I don't have time to learn how to do videos, well, I'm not a good fit. So I'll say, who do I know that I
Mhm.
can refer them? Because to
Yep.
me, that's a better way than just saying, sorry, I can't help you.
Oh,
It's like
definitely.
it's like get to
Yeah.
know people so that you could, trade them along.
Right. And your competitors can be collaborators as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that same gal that I was talking about that had the lights go out, the power go out, and had to nurse her baby and stuff. We do have some overlap in what we do. It's just that what she does as her primary offer, I don't want to do. I can do, and I will do for certain people, but it's not what I lead with at all. And
Yeah.
what I lead with, she also can do, but she doesn't lead with and she doesn't like to do as much. And so, we do have that overlap, and it's like, so what?
Yep.
It's just it's been a really valuable relationship for me professionally and personally to just get to know her and what she does and help her
Yep.
where I can and stuff. It's fun.
Yep.
I prefer to think of it the same way that you do.
And I think as we go through our sort of professional careers and stuff, I think we find that we start to niche down, and I know that in the beginning I did like online marketing in a general perspective, and I helped people with blogging and video and email marketing and website design. Like I was like a Jillian of all trades. I could do so many different things. But what I started to find was it's really hard to do that many things, because then you start to go, I don't feel like I feel like I'm this generalist that is always having to learn so much. It's like, oh, I do websites, but you want now a Wix website, but I only do WordPress. Now I got to go learn Wix. And it was like, I started to find I was getting diluted. So then when I made the shift down to video, because I found video, like out of everything, video was the best thing to do. Even with that, in the beginning, I was teaching people about video, and then people would say, well, do you do Instagram videos? And I went, no, I'm not on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. So it's like, I can help you with LinkedIn and I can help you with YouTube. That's it. It's like, can't do Pinterest. You come to me and say, you got, I want to do my pins. It's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So it's like, you find that you start to get narrower and narrower, but then your client base gets bigger. So it's like, now my client base is international. So I have clients in Australia, New Zealand, and Scotland, and England, and, all over the world. Canada, America. So I have gone international with my clients, but I've niched my services down to LinkedIn. So that kind of starts to alleviate your competition, because if I have somebody that wants help with email marketing, yeah, I could do it, but it's like, I don't want to. I don't want to do that anymore. It's like,
Yeah, I get that. So what makes you different than somebody that is doing the same thing that you are?
I don't hide and tell people that I'm not going to show them how to do stuff. I'm very free with my information. I don't say, oh, you only get to see this much and now you've got to do this. It's like, I'm very good about, like, if you go to my YouTube channel, I have so many videos. I offer so much free content. And I think it's in relation to the fact of, I don't like people that say, I'm not going to tell you how it's done. And I just, that doesn't work for me. And I think it's because I used to be a technical writer. I used to be a computer trainer. And so I'm used to teaching people the whole thing. So I give a lot of free stuff, and there's a lot of people I'll never, ever work with, and they'll learn so much from me. And I'm totally okay with that, because I know that they'll refer me to other people. Because some people, they can Google stuff, they can learn it, watch a video on their merry way.
Yep.
They're good to go. Other people, they need hand holding. So I'm for the people that need that little bit of extra TLC, the hand holding. Right. And also too, what makes me different is I work with people one-on-one. So right now I don't have, go buy my course, you got to do it on your own, yada, yada, yada. It's like, if you want to work with me, we sit down and say, what are your video goals? What do you want to accomplish? And then let's map out our journey together. And then we'll get you from here to here. So I think that's what makes me different, is the customized approach.
I like it. I totally agree with the not hiding the how. Like, I don't, there's there's nothing secret about what I do. Anybody can repurpose content. It's not hard. I'll tell people exactly how I do it. I'll show people exactly how I do it. Because they're not going to hire me because they don't know how to do it. They're going to hire me because they don't want to do it. They're going to hire you because they don't want to try to figure it out themselves. They want you to, walk them through the process, and shorten their learning curve a little bit, with, being able to ask questions, get them answered, and the benefit of your expertise to shave off some, bumps in the
Learning.
road.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, and avoid some of the common, you know, obstacles or mistakes, which, by the way, is my next question. What kind of mistakes are people making with their LinkedIn videos?
Not using captions. That's the number one mistake, because you have to recognize that the majority of people, well, first of all, by default, your videos are showing up on silent. So if there's a reason for them to even lean in and turn it on, they could just be scrolling on by. So that's one thing. Another thing that people make a mistake is their videos are too long and they take too long to start. So even if you have a short video, and I do recommend, you know, 2 minutes or a minute and a half, keep them really short and snappy. But the other thing is that don't take too long to get started. This is not YouTube. Each platform has a different vibe and different rules and guidelines. So what I would do on YouTube, I don't necessarily do on LinkedIn. So having a video that starts and it's like, now introducing Jillian, and we see a logo and it flies in, and then there's music, and it's like somebody's like, what I don't have time for this. They're scrolling on by. So the thing is that you want that hook. So it's like, has this ever happened to you? Did you ever try to make a video and your cat jumped on your phone? That is a hook that'll people like, I know what that's like, except I got a dog, you know, so people will want to watch that. So jump right in. Don't, you know, and even music, I don't recommend using music on LinkedIn. And I know people love music in the background and this and that. But the thing is that now you've got to adjust the volume, because if people are trying to hear what you're saying and there's music playing, you got to get that music really, really low. That's fiddly. It's like, just don't even bother. Just make your video and carry on. So those are some of the mistakes that I see that people are doing on LinkedIn. You know, they don't get to the point. They you know, they don't have a plan. They ramble.
Well, you know, it's really interesting to say on something like this, because here we are at 42 minutes and I didn't have a plan. I don't have a plan, but
lives are different. Lives are different.
Okay, so talk to me about that. What's the difference then here between a you know, posted video and a live as far as best practices and mistakes?
Well, down the road, as you're sort of building up your live, you have to think of them as LinkedIn live events. So when I have a live event, I have people that are like, I do all of mine scheduled, and people know it's going to be Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. They know who my guest is. They know what I'm talking about. So the people are tuning in and showing up live, and I involve them. I flash comments on the screen. You know, they'll ask questions, comments. You put all that stuff out there, and then your guests, you know, sometimes their networks will show up, because as soon as they go live, they're showing up there to support the person as well. So I look at LinkedIn Lives as a cocktail party. It's like a virtual cocktail party. One of the best people that I really can give credit to is Gabe Leal, who does a show. It's an unfiltered live. He does it I don't know how he's doing it. He's doing it every day at like 5 p.m. Pacific time. I think he goes like at 5:15, 5 o'clock. And he has a different guest every day. Sometimes it's just him. And he is doing 100 consecutive LinkedIn lives. I don't know how he has the energy, but he does it every single day. And you show up on his lives, and I just have to tell you, it's like a party in the comments. There are people in the comments, and he sees the comments, and the people in the comments are commenting on the other people's. So they become networking events. So it takes a while to get there. And when I first started doing LinkedIn lives, I had my very first LinkedIn live, I had 2 comments, and they were mine. My comment. It's like, but you know what? If you build it, they will come. So that's why I highly recommend get your LinkedIn lives to be on a set schedule. Even if you just say once a month or whatever, that helps you build that following. So lives are a whole new beast. And then, of course, repurpose them. Definitely. Like what I like to do with my LinkedIn lives is I do a live every single week. Then at the end of the month, I do a LinkedIn Live roundup article. And what
Mm.
I do is I take a 1-minute snippet from every single live that was the month before. And then it's a sample, it's a taste. Here's what you missed. Here's what we talked about. And I have it all in one article. And then I have, if you want to check out the replay, because my lives are 30 minutes. If you want to check out the replay, here's how you go on LinkedIn. Here's how you access it on YouTube, because I co-stream. And then here is how you go to the podcast, because maybe you're a listener and you'd rather go listen on Apple and, or Google Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you want to go. So I'm giving people 3 ways. And then I'm giving the little Netflix trailer that says, here's what we talked about, and all in one tidy little thing. And then I always have a little thing at the bottom that says, want to see what my guests were the month before? Click here. And then you go to the previous article, and they're all LinkedIn articles. And guess what? They're Google searchable. So if somebody, types in one of my guests, because I've tagged them, they might show up in a Google search result.
Well, that's a great tip. That's useful for everybody who's doing a podcast or a live interviews. Is somebody that has guest trainers in a group or something on a regular basis. That's awesome.
Yes,
that's fantastic.
And people, it's funny, people kind of don't like to do LinkedIn articles because they go, they don't get a lot of love and this and that. You just have to say articles. With articles, you're playing the long game on LinkedIn because they're Google indexed. They're indexed by the Google search engines. And so people could find that article 2 years after the live. Whereas a newsfeed video, out of sight, out of mind. 3 days later, people don't even see it anymore. So unless they're kind of going back and looking for it, they might not find it. So that's a biggie. That's a biggie.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty impressive. I that's awesome. I've got a number of these under my belt. Now I've probably done 30 or more in the less than a month.
Oh, wow.
I do them frequently, and not on LinkedIn as much. Most of my audience seems to be on Facebook, and so, but I am trying to to branch into LinkedIn and do them on LinkedIn because I like LinkedIn as a platform a lot. And so, I offer people, this, I offer people the choice. Do you want to do this on my LinkedIn or do you want to do this on my Facebook? Either way, it doesn't matter with me. It's just, it's cool. But, I do them a lot. I offer, I probably got 6 or 7 this week, 3 today. And so I've got this huge, assortment. I had never thought about your LinkedIn article for that. That's pretty
cool. Because you can, and the nice thing is you can embed the live within the article. So it's like it plays. You don't hop out and go watch it. It plays within the article. It's an embedded video. So that's kind of cool. So you could be doing all sorts of, you could like summarize, okay, I met with, Jillian, and these are the 5 takeaways that I wanted you to be aware of. And you have that written out. And then you embed the video if somebody wants to watch the whole thing. So then you're appealing to like so many different learning styles, because maybe somebody is like you, they want the text, they want to read, they want to read. So that's a great way to go.
That's awesome. I love that. A lot of what I do when I repurpose stuff is taking video like this and then turning it into a text-based things, like social media posts, emails, blog posts, things like that, because it's, getting a clip is easy. The software makes that really easy. But taking it and turning it into lead magnets or emails or blog posts or social media posts, different skill set. And that's, that's where I take my love of writing and editing and kind of piecing things together, and it all, that's what I enjoy doing on that. But, okay. So let me ask you, is it okay to post the same video on multiple platforms then?
Oh yeah.
Does Google penalize you for that?
Nope. Nope.
No?
There's no video penalties with Google at
Okay.
all. And like the only time that you might want to talk about like Google penalties would be if you're doing a LinkedIn article and it's the same as your blog article on your website. And so the recommendation is usually like keep them a couple of days apart, give them a little bit of a different title. And if you say, for instance, you have a really, really long article and on your blog post, and then you just want to have part of it on LinkedIn, then just say you can finish, this is a sample of the article or an excerpt of the article. You can go read the whole full thing by clicking here and then have the call to action to go out to your blog article and then have a slightly different title so that when somebody Googles it, and Google's that topic, they see, oh, there's two things. It's not a duplicate. But even Google doesn't ding you as a duplicate content or anything like that. Now with video, when you want to repurpose different video from LinkedIn on different platforms, you just have to kind of be aware of what are the rules of that platform in terms of not necessarily rules, but the guidelines. So say, for instance, I might do a video on LinkedIn and go, this would be really good to put it on my YouTube channel as well. So I'll take that video, and I like to do square videos on LinkedIn. I find that's good because it appeals to people on desktop and it appeals to people on mobile. So you kind of get your best bang by going for that 1-to-1 ratio, like an Instagram video, square video. But I don't find square videos look so good on YouTube. I prefer to have the horizontal videos, sort of like what we're doing for the LinkedIn Live. So I'll take my same video and then I'll publish it as 16:9, and then I will add closed captions to YouTube. The reason why I do that is because closed captions are a text file that's indexed by YouTube and therefore makes my video more findable on YouTube and in the Google search results. Because remember, Google owns YouTube. So you always want to appease those Google gods. And so closed captions is a much better thing. Yes, we all want that from the Google gods. But on LinkedIn, I don't like closed captions. I like burned in captions, which are open captions. So if I do a square video, I'll put the captions underneath my video. I'll put a headline up at the top of my video. And then you have my video, my 16:9 video in the middle, like a little bit of a video sandwich. So it's the same video, but it's just set up a little bit different. And then, of course, I don't have Instagram, but if I was on Instagram, again, I would go for a square video because that does well. If I was on TikTok, I'd say 16:9. It's really you want to be 9:16. You want the vertical videos. So I would all of a sudden take this and make it look a little bit different to go on TikTok. So just be aware of what canvas size does the platform like. And then also too, what about timing? So Instagram, if there's a time on Reels and you can't go longer than a minute, and I'm making this up because I don't know Instagram, then you'd say, better not take my 2-minute video, then make 2 videos. So, but I think repurposing, why reinvent the wheel? And also too, post a video again. Like if you posted a video a year later, all these other people haven't seen that video. Post it again. Post it again.
Yeah. Or, take segments from an hour-long video. You could easily do, 4 long form, 15-minute videos. You could do 3 20-minute videos. You could do 2 half-hour videos. You can take, 6 10-minute videos. I mean, you can take them of all sorts of different sizes and everything. I mean, we're getting into my jam a little bit more than I thought we would here, but that's pretty cool. So when somebody comes to you, what kind of questions are they commonly asking you? What kind of questions? What your frequently asked questions? What are you getting?
Workflow. They want to have a workflow nailed down. They see video as like, I don't know where to begin. It's kind of like, it's like a jungle, and it's like they're there, and it's like I'll go, okay, put on our Indiana Jones hats and we're going to machete our way through the jungle and we'll show you how to get to the other side. So I think for the most part, most people just really don't know, how do I make a video content strategy in terms of what should I be posting about? How often should I be making videos? what should I be saying? How do I structure them? How do I make them branded so that they, have a common look to them? Those are the kind of things that people, and even just the tech, it's like, well, how do I add captions? How do I add my logo? What are some of those different things? Because it's not always intuitive. You go out there and you're just like, you pick up a piece of software and you're just like, I can't make heads or tails of this. Right. And also too, you gotta help people be at the tech level they're at. And some of my clients, they just say, show me a program that I can do it all. Like, I don't want to be overwhelmed by the tech. So I might start them off with a tool that's not free, but the advantage is that you could do your editing and your captions and this and that and everything else, because at the end of the day, your time is worth so much. And if you're one of those people where you save a file on your computer and then you go, I don't know where it is, you got issues, this happens to people all the time. They're like, and then they save it again, and then they save it again, and they got like 10 videos, and videos are hogs. They're hogs. But that happens all the time. So sometimes it's just.
I'm just going to pretend you're not calling me out right now.
It happens. It happens. But
Well,
that's where if you can have a workflow and then you say, because you got to stay organized. And it's like, here is my, and I'm in document management as my past career. So it's like, I'll take my video file and I'll call it like, raw, rev.com clip or something like that. And I use numbering systems, version 1, version 2, version 3. You do whatever you need to do to stay organized, because the worst thing is when you've just got stuff all over the place and you're just like, I better not ever share my screen on the Zoom call, because if anybody sees my screen, they're going to just say, there's a mad woman that lives there.
Yes. Now, how do you organize your videos? I mean, you've got all these videos and video clips and clips of different lengths from the same video. And what do you do to organize those?
I have a lot of drives. So I have a MacBook Pro. My editor of choice is Camtasia. So that's what I like to use for my videos. And Camtasia likes to work on the hard drive, doesn't like to be in the cloud. So what I do is I have all of my Camtasia stuff. That's all on my hard drive. Everything else I own is in the cloud so that I have lots of space. And then when I'm done with a video project, like once a month, I will actually offload my projects from my hard drive onto an external drive. So that's how, because videos, they breed. You go to bed at night and they've had video babies and they're everywhere. And you just go, oh my gosh. And there is nothing worse than running out of space, or your hard drive crashes, or, all these different things. So you just have to have a real strong process in place. And I have SOPs of like what I'm doing and where I'm doing it. And, that's like YouTube. To me, everybody should have a YouTube channel, even if you just use YouTube to store your videos and get them off your hard drive. Like, that's what I do with my clients. I put all of my client like Zoom calls and stuff like that, I put them on YouTube, but I make them unlisted. So nobody can ever find them. But then that way, when the client says, I want to watch that video, I have it. I have it for them.
Okay.
So
that's a great idea.
You got to have your processes in place and really know where everything is. And, project management software, that really helps. I use Trello. I love Trello. That keeps me organized so I know my process. And make yourself checklists, make sure it's like, okay, if I'm going to do a video, I got to have a thumbnail and captions and this and, all these, what am I going to write in the post? So have your whole process out from A to Z, or if you're British, A to Z.
Is that kind of standard operating procedures kind of thing, something that you work with your clients on? Like, do you help them? That's in your program or whatever?
Yep.
Okay.
And I customize it for what works for them, because it's
Ooh.
never one size fits all. We all have
I
different
like
learning
it.
styles. And, you got your Mac people and you got your Windows people, you got your phone people, you got your desktop people. Everybody's different.
Or something, a little bit of all of the above.
Yes.
And your technophobes and your
Yes.
okay, so what if somebody wanted to work with you? What's the process? What does it look? What does a client journey look like for somebody from the first time they go, I need some help with this whole video for LinkedIn thing, to finding you, to finishing up? What does it look
Okay.
like?
So basically what I do is I have people, they'll connect with me or they'll follow me or whatever and get a sense of who I am. And if it feels like I'm a good fit, usually people contact me. And what I'll do is I'll set up a 15-minute discovery call, sit down, figure out what are your goals, and I'll figure out if I can help you or not. If I can't help you, then I'll refer you to somebody else that would be a better fit, or, just other tools that I would recommend. And then what I do is I then tell people, go to my website. It has my different services. I have some people that just want to learn how to use a particular software. So it's like they might say, I just want to learn how to use CapCut. CapCut's what you talk about on your phone. I have a set program where you can just buy how many episodes, you'd need coaching sessions to learn how to use CapCut, so that's one thing.
Okay.
But most people seem to want a package of like about 4 sessions, because, you can't learn video in an hour. So most of the time people just want to book me for 4 sessions because they get a price break. If you do more sessions, you get even more of a price break. So that's usually how people do it. And then they just pay, and then we just customize what your goals are and we go from there. So that's how we do it.
Oh,
I do it. It's just
that's
me.
simple. Yeah, simple, and it definitely makes you different than a lot of other people that are doing similar work. That's awesome.
Yeah. And there's
Okay,
no
so
group stuff. There's no group stuff. It's just me and you on a Zoom call, and I record everything. And then I have a portal for clients, and here's where your videos sit and your tips and your checklists and all that sort of stuff.
Okay, that's cool. So I assume that you'll watch this
LinkedIn?
thread, huh?
Contact me through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
LinkedIn. That's the way.
I assume that you will watch this thread and answer any questions if any pop up. Tell me, last parting word of wisdom or advice for somebody.
Don't worry about people judging you. That's the number one thing. Just think about the message you're trying to get out there to people. And if you are not making that video to talk to people about what you're doing, then your competitor, who might not be doing a good job, if they're not afraid to get out there and do the video, your clients might want to go work with them. So it's like, move yourself so that you can take that first step. And remember what I said at the beginning, start with what you're comfortable with. And if you just can screen share and you're that little circle bubble, that's okay to start there. We don't have to be, Showtime. Just start, just know that people need what you offer. And you only need a few. You don't need everyone on LinkedIn. You just need the few people that want to resonate and want to work with you, and talk to them. Talk to them.
And it's okay to be terrible. And you know what?
Yes.
Your terrible first video might make a fun, hey, let me look at, now and then, do a comparison kind of reaction to your very first video. Oh my.
Yeah. And it's like my first videos were, the tripod fell and, all that sort of stuff. But it's like, you got to start somewhere. So just start. Just start.
Just start. I love it. Thank you so much for your time today. I had a
You're
blast.
welcome.
And I learned
You're
a
welcome.
lot. This was valuable. Everybody doing business should watch this, because video is such a prevalent force. And I think even if they're not looking to do LinkedIn video, you still gave so many valuable tips that they can take across many different platforms that, you guys should watch this. All right. You have a wonderful rest of your evening in sunny Las Vegas. I was just there. Just got back a
I
couple days
saw
ago.
that.
Yeah,
I
it
saw
was,
that. That's
it was a
fun.
good time. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you much. Goodbye,
Okay.
LinkedIn.
Take care. Bye.